Let's take a quick look at how to match graphs to particular situations or stories. Now, this is a real life scenario in which you need to think about the particular events that are happening. That's pretty simple example, and then I will let you have some practice. So to begin with, you need to take a quick look and analyze the graphs that you see here. Obviously, we have time and weight, time and weight, and time and weight. All three graphs have time on the x-axis and weight on the y-axis. So you can tell that very different events are happening. So even before I try to read these sentences and match them up, I want to know what's happening in the graph. Now, I can see that the first part of this particular situation has something changing, but not at all at a constant or a steady rate. It's changing very differently. It kind of looks like really jagged steps that I wouldn't want to have to climb up. You trip for sure on those. But then in the second part of this graph, you can see that it actually evens out. That means as the time is passing, the baby's weight in this situation isn't changing at all. Okay, then if we look at the second graph, I see that it begins with a slight decrease. Now think slight decrease, and it's in a straight line, so you know that it's a constant rate of change, so it's decreasing steadily. But because it's a very shallow decrease or shallow looking line, kind of like a wheelchair ramp, then you know that it's a very slight constant decrease. Then something happens and time continues passing. At this particular part of the graph, you can see that the line is now increasing. It's a straight line, so it's a constant rate of change, but it's increasing. And then finally, the very last line on the graph shows that the time is passing and there is a very steady or constant increase. So thinking about that analysis, it should be fairly easy to break down these sentences and match them up. First of all, baby gained weight at a rapid pace. Now that only has one part of the story. It gained weight at a rapid pace. So this has two parts, this has two parts, and this only has one part. It also shows that it's an increase and it's a pretty steady increase. So it looks like this is probably going to match up. All right, I'm just going to grab this one next, and it says a baby lost a little weight and then gained a little weight, but slowly. This actually has two parts, a beginning part and an ending part. It has got two events, so that part means it could be either of these. So now we need to look for some vocabulary words. It lost weight, so losing weight is a decrease, and it's not a lot but a little very small amount. So losing a small amount and then gaining weight slowly matches to this story. Two slow changes, but the first was a decrease and the second was an increase, which means this is left to match with the first graph. Now let's kind of pick this apart. The beginning of the sentence says baby gained weight at an uneven rate. That phrase uneven is the big symbol. Uneven matches to this jagged. Gain is a gain, so it's a positive, but it's not at an even rate. The second part says, but even maintained at a constant rate. That's what happens here. So just pay attention to the vocabulary and match the graphs.